Hi! Welcome to today's photography lesson. Today you're going to be learning all about exposure compensation. I've set up a scenario right here where it's really bright outside but it's really dark inside. And often when you take a photo, it doesn't look too great. So for example, I want to take a photo of this scenario and you can see what I mean. So what you're going to learn to do is use the exposure compensation. So we have a little plus and a tiny little minus. Can you see that there? A little plus and a minus here. And on the camera, to access that button, it's here. It's a plus and a minus. And if you hit that while dialing, you can actually access this and put it to a positive or a negative value, which will increase the brightness or the darkness and exposure range of our photo. Make sure our ISO is set to 100. I want you to select aperture mode. Okay, and now let's have a look at our aperture. I'm happy with it being at about 7.1. Okay, that should be okay. You can change it as well. I think 7.1 will be good. So we'll give that a go. ISO is set to 100. We're now ready to take a variety of shots. Okay, as you can see, it's super bright outside, so select somewhere where it's going to be really high contrast, whether it be really bright and really dark in the same shot. I think windows are always good. You always have that scenario happening. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I want to make sure my camera's staying really still. Okay, and making sure my exposure compensation value here, when I click on this button, okay, is set to 0, and that's trying to get that perfect exposure. Okay, now I'm going to try and hold my camera really still. If you have a tripod, I recommend you use it. Otherwise, just try holding it still. I'm going to select it now to -1, holding the camera very still. Now I'm going to go select -2, hold the camera very still. Now I'm going to select -3, trying to hold that camera super still. And I go across to -4. Now your camera might only go up to -3. Just do what your camera's range can go. -5, not every camera I don't think goes to -5. Yeah, that's as far as that'll go. Now I'm going to scroll all the way back. We had our shot at 0, so now I'm going to go at a +1. Take my photo. As you can see, if you're adding the compensation, making it a lot brighter. And as you add it brighter, you're going to get a much longer shutter speed going on. I think it kind of changes that automatically. Yeah, I feel that shutter speed is really struggling now. It's really opening up. So I have to just hold really still. Yeah, it'd probably be the best if you have a tripod. Okay, so having a look at my variety of images, this one was +5, +4, +3, +2, negative ones as well. Alright, so now I've got my variety of photo. I need to go in post-production and edit these. Hello and welcome to today's editing class. We are going to put together a HDR photograph from your previously captured photographs of underexposed and overexposed images, and we're going to put that together and make an awesome HDR photograph. So first of all, you can see the range I have here. I've only selected 4. I did have a lot more captured. I feel like this is plenty to work with to get the effects I want. You can do this in Photoshop, and I'm going to quickly show you in Photoshop how it turns out. So I'll show you, this is how it actually turns out. All you do is go File, Automate, and you go Merge to HDR Pro. And from there, you click Browse, highlight all of the HDR ones you think you need, and press OK. And it will batch them together and make a HDR. So as you can see, it's not great. So what I'm going to recommend today is if you have internet access and you can go online to this website here, and I'll put that in the Canvas link, Skylum. This I've come across as to be one of the best HDR software there is out there at the moment. And what you can do is you click on HDR and go and download a trial version. That's what I've done. And you click on that and you go through downloading the trial. It will only last for 10 days. So be aware of that. Make sure you've got all your images ready of underexposed and overexposed ready before you download the trial, and then edit in that. Open image is the first thing you need to do. Even though we're opening multiple images, you just click on open image, and then I've already gone to my folder, highlight them all, press open. Couple of buttons we do need to select is auto alignment. Make sure that one's checked. Ghost reduction, just in case I had a bit of camera shake, make sure that one's checked. And chromatic abrasion reduction, make sure that one's checked. Now it should load, here we go, and it actually sees exactly what exposure value it is, and it's showing up a little bit different than I had captured, but that's okay. It's a range of photos, quite a few underexposed, quite a few overexposed. It will get our effect. Create HDR, click on that. Now, you're probably thinking, my phone can do this quicker on HDR mode, or my camera already has an inbuilt HDR mode. Well, this program is amazing. It captures all of the quality. It's about the quality, and when you zoom in, you can tell this image is so much better than your camera or your phone. As you zoom in, there's so much detail. So this is why we do want to go that extra step and work a bit harder. And look at that difference between that one in Photoshop. Wouldn't go near that now after working with Aurora. Look at the difference. So a couple of little sliders we can click across here. We can change the temperature, make it feel cooler or warmer. So have a lot of fun messing around with exposure. Obviously, you know, have a bit of fun, explore the range. There's so much to explore. The saturation of the color, the vibrance of the color. You don't want to go overboard though, so just be careful with your choices. What I like to do is select from the collections. So just here, there's the collections, and I've chosen architecture because it's in interior design. Okay, make sure that's selected, and then you can click on different ones and it will load a different preset. Realistic interior looks quite good, and you can even play around with that. So it's a pretty fantastic program. Have a bit of a play around with it, get to know it, and once you're happy with that, you just click on share image, export to image, and call it something maybe like final HDR in Aurora, and make sure you choose the best quality. You could choose TIFF for better quality, but I'm happy with just JPEG for now. And actual size, and once you're happy, make sure the quality is all the way up to the highest, 100%. Click on export, and it'll be exported any minute. So yeah, have a good play around with this. I would really recommend you get the 10-day trial if you love it and want to get into this. This is a professional program, and I think it costs just over $100 for the full versions. Much better quality than we have in Photoshop. Doesn't even compare the difference between those. Beautiful program to work in. So if you're thinking of landscape photography, even real estate photography, any type of photography where there's a high contrast of light and dark, and your camera just struggles to take the photo, just really, yeah, check out this Aurora program. So that's what the camera does normally, either overexposes the outside or underexposes the inside. It can't do both at once. And even if it did in camera editing, if you have a HDR function on your camera, it will just not look that great. So, huge difference. Really encourage you to give Aurora a go. you'll be very happy with the results compared to Photoshop. So if you can today, just a reminder to make sure you've taken your range of HDR shots. If you can, use a tripod. It's much better if you use a tripod and it will line up more effectively. Get your photos in a folder separately. If you can, download the 10-day trial of Aurora from this website, just from here, download trial, and give it a go. You'll be very happy that you did.